The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Worst. Retreat. Ever. 1 out of 5 stars would not recommend. I'm giving the Yelp review for Amber and Scott after watching Corporate Retreat. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Hey, Amber, guess what?
What?
I didn't tell you this. I wanted to surprise you.
I don't know if I want to be surprised.
This weekend, Duncast is going on a corporate retreat.
No, thank you.
Sure?
No, thank you.
Positive? It's this place. They emailed me. Seems like it's great.
No.
Okay, fine.
Did they also pay you off $50,000 to go?
We don't have to discuss that portion of it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Welcome to Cinema IRL. Our film for this episode is Corporate Retreat. And this is a messed up freaking film about a tech company that goes on their annual corporate retreat, but apparently their disgruntled, pushed out former owner is behind this retreat that actually intends to, I don't know, kill them all, slowly torture them until they've all been punished for ousting him years before.
So, by what you're describing, are you saying that it was the hero of the story?
No, he needs psychiatric counseling.
But Arthur
Who
was
is
the
our
hero.
Arthur, who was our pushed out former founder, is not a hero. He is a sadistic SOB who made people scoop their eyes out with spoons and stab themselves with construction grade rebar width nails and gave them botulism.
I feel like this might have been reasonable given the circumstances, because I definitely can sit in the shoes of a founder and CEO. And let me tell you, the idea of building a company, bringing people into that company, and then having those people vote you out of the company you started?
That doesn't mean you get to kill and torture people.
Says you.
Says the law and most people who have their sanity intact.
Yeah. I listen, I get corporate stuff. For me, it's just really hard when you push out a founder, or as a founder, you've got to be real careful to make sure you're structured in a way that you're not pushed out.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but it doesn't mean you get to torture and kill people.
Just write a better contract next time.
So this film was the first film, and I've seen a lot of, this wasn't like a slasher type horror movie or anything like that, but it had an excessive amount of violence, an excessive amount of gore, and I don't think I've ever recalled a movie where I've seen 5 people walk out and never come back. And that's what happened when we saw this movie today.
Yeah, the gore level on this one is definitely very high, and I could see how that would be troubling for a number of people. So
yeah, having to scoop out your own eye with a spoon is not something that's entertaining. I did not find that entertaining, even a little bit. And we had to go through that with 4 people, one of which couldn't make herself do it because she couldn't stop shaking and just got shot in the head instead.
So basically they got put through 7...
Oh, but there was 4 people because someone else, psycho guy did it.
7 stages of hell, the 7 gateways.
Yeah, they're basically formed around the idea of the 7 chakras. And the reason I just changed that number from 4 to 3 to 4 is because by the time we get to the eye scooping out,
Well, let's get to that.
The founder scoops out his own eye.
Are
a lot.
We're jumping.
There are a lot of what would you do's here. That's, even though I did not enjoy this film, I wish I wasn't in this film, I did think, hey, there's a lot of what would you do's here. So let's start with the first one, is the fact that the day that the current CEO says that, hey, we need to plan our retreat, Billy, the HR person, gets a call saying, hey, we have a retreat for you, and apparently is also given a $50,000 kickback. So what would you do if you were Billy?
No. You get things like that, for sure.
$50,000? Crazy amount of money.
Finder's fees for things like that, because something like that would probably cost like $1 million+. So them giving away 5%
maybe
to kind of solidify that.
Yeah, they did pay for a retreat where all of them died.
But here is the thing. They said they determined because of that it was an inside job.
Because of what?
The fact that she got the email the same day they...
Oh, yeah. They at that point, once they're in the situation and they start figuring out what happened here, yeah, they're like, didn't you think that was a coincidence?
Who's the insider? They never told us.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the guy who
Bob
has
from accounting?
all the technology knowledge and probably had some way of surveilling their system. He has blockchain and technology and voice. I can't remember what the voice was, but he's a tech guy.
For what that company sounded like it was, they should have had that crap locked down. I don't know. It's fine. For me, that's just a question mark. They probably answered the question and left it on the cutting room floor.
Okay. Well, I answered asked a question. I think you've left it on the cutting room floor. What would you do if you were Billy?
I'd take $50,000 and book the retreat.
Okay.
If there's legitimately good reviews and you can discern that these are real reviews, like go to Yelp. Yelp is very active in filtering out
Well, she checked the reviews. She said
bogus
they were
reviews. Matter of fact, Yelp will over caution and will actually block out reviews that are real. So I do trust the reviews that come in on Yelp as being from real people. If it had the reviews, yeah, you get
Okay.
50, and you get $50,000.
Okay. So our next what would you do? And there are easily 75 what would you do's in this. But the next one would be is everyone gets on a bus to go to the retreat except for Cliff, who is the general counsel, who drives his own car and brings his girlfriend, who is not on staff, who is not part of anything, who has not been asked and invited to this staff corporate retreat. And he has not told her that, hey, this thing you think is a romantic getaway is actually a retreat for my company. What would you do if you were her, Ginger, who found this out, or, I don't know, anyone of Cliff's coworkers who now see he's come on his own and he's brought partner with him when everybody else just came to do some work for work?
Yeah, so it puts the other officers in a really tricky position here.
Yeah, they're all C-suite level people.
Right? Listen, he's definitely getting a call from HR on Monday. Definitely. This is not okay what he did at all.
Well, the HR person is there.
Yeah, well.
There's no call necessary.
But
She
you're not
was there.
working it. You're not working that weekend. So HR will still be calling him on Monday. Yeah, no, that's not cool. You don't invite someone to a corporate retreat unless you're allowed to. You don't invite someone to a corporate retreat and not tell them that you're inviting them to a corporate retreat. A corporate retreat is about team building. Get your ass on the bus. You ain't that special.
I would agree. And I would take that one step further because Cliff, the guy who brings his girlfriend Ginger, once she's there and they've said, oh, well, if you're here, may as well participate. They go out onto the roof to make out. He takes off his shirt. She takes off her shirt when all of the coworkers are around the building. WTF? It is a corporate retreat for your partner or for yourself, depending on which of these two characters you are, and you're going to take your clothing off on a balcony with all your coworkers there. What would I do? I would not do that.
Yeah, so other things I wouldn't do. I wouldn't bring a gun with me to a corporate retreat.
Yeah, the general counsel has a gun tucked into his pants.
And if I am staff, I am wanting people, because especially given the nature of this, if someone's going to walk in with a gun, you might want to know about it.
Well, and of course they didn't know.
Who didn't know?
Nobody knew except for Ginger. They didn't know he had a gun.
Oh, that's what I'm saying is that the facility should have
Metal detectors at their high-end luxury home for the retreat?
Listen.
There should be metal detectors out front? That's not the vibe.
Not a big one, just a wand. Like the same kind that like they'll use to check you before like going into a club or something like that. Just wand them.
Well, also keep in mind, this was not an actual high-end retreat.
Well, it wasn't exactly. So all the more reason to have something there to make sure that the people who are coming in don't bring something that can help them later.
Yeah, and no normal person
no
would...
knives, no guns, no
normal person would bring weaponry to a corporate retreat, but unfortunately, the general counsel, Cliff, has bad judgment all around. He invites his girlfriend to the company retreat. He brings a gun to the company retreat. This guy is not a guy who thinks.
And he's a lawyer, so maybe that just checks.
I don't know. So throughout the rest of the film, we go through the 7... What were they? The 7 levels?
The 7 gateways.
Gateways, yes.
The first one is mundane, prayer,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's a little meditation thing.
And then the second one was a steam room.
Yeah, where they're said, okay, well, you're going to spend some time in here. The 2 women who are the hosts close the door, and out to the attendees, the employees, they are locked in the sauna, and it's getting hotter and hotter, and ultimately some guy says, it's too hot in here, I got to get out, and realizes the door is locked.
Yeah. For what was coming next, they kind of needed the steam room. But yeah, I'm probably... Steam room should never lock from the outside.
No, and of course, I don't think a normal steam room would, but this was not a normal home and not a normal retreat. So everyone yells, they're let out. The 2 girls who are running the retreat, Amber and Lola, say, oh, we're so sorry, that was an accident. Give them beverages to drink to hydrate themselves after being completely depleted and someone passing out due to all the excessive steam. And then, you want to tell everyone what happens then?
Oh yeah, they drank themselves a nice old glass of botulism.
Yeah, because Amber and Lola pop on the screen where the area that they've been given to decompress from their very traumatic situation in the sauna and given beverages.
Yeah, and they're going to drink it because they're thirsty as hell.
Dehydrated, yeah. And Amber and Lola pop on and say, hey, FYI, you just drank something that's it's botulism, and you're going to vomit and have diarrhea and stomach cramps, and yeah, you're also going to die.
Yeah.
Panic ensues.
As it should. Now, I would say it is lucky, but my guess is one, movie writers, but 2, also the former CEO would know that one of the people on that retreat had a doctorate in chemistry. So,
and they have put ingredients around in the kitchen that does allow her to come up with what is it? Is it some sort of cocktail that she can inject with them to save them? But
here's what I want to know. Intern, can you give me a list of ingredients for a homemade botulism vaccine?
It is not possible to safely or effectively create a botulism vaccine at home. These vaccines require highly controlled laboratory environments and specialized medical processes to prevent the risk of lethal poisoning.
All right, so what would you do at this point if you were any one of these employees who has survived the trauma of being locked in the sauna and been told it's an accident, given a beverage, and now you've been told you've been given botulism and you're going to die? What the heck do you do?
Well, and this is where, like I said, you have someone in your group who has a doctorate in chemistry. Nobody else in that group is going to have a doctorate in chemistry, so it is just solely on her to figure this out. But they made sure that it could be figured out. So,
and the group, once they realize what's happening, they try to get out, but the glass is bulletproof glass. They can't break through it. Everything's locked up, and they cannot escape. What would you do? I would frickin' panic.
Well, that doesn't do you any good.
No.
Well, one thing you don't want to do actually is panic, because here's the thing. When you panic, you get yourself worked up. When you get yourself worked up, you get your metabolism working faster. So basically, you're just killing yourself with the botulism faster. So you want to be as calm as possible here while you're figuring out a solution.
So the next what would you do out of the 75 that are in this film is...
Well, let's also note that she does eventually give it. They give it to everyone, but one of the people was just in really, really bad shape coming out of the steam room.
Yeah, that's actually where I was going.
Yeah, and they had the...
Well, the person that was in bad shape was actually Ginger. The guy that you're referring to wasn't in bad shape from the steam room. He just succumbed to the the symptoms of the botulism sooner than everybody else, and he started vomiting and he fell unconscious, and he is unconscious by the time they need to give him the serum, and then they think he's dead. And that's when things get even more messed up, and Amber and Lola come in and say, you need to cut out someone's heart. And in the process, they wind up shooting Cliff, who is our attorney, and they don't let him use Cliff's heart. They drag him out and then say, out of everyone that's left here who's alive, you need to take out someone's heart.
But see, here's the thing. They weren't fast thinking enough, I don't think. If they shoot him, I am immediately firing my hand up. We'll use him. His heart. We'll get it right now. They didn't even try. Now, obviously, they didn't try because it wasn't in the script.
I think the point is that the sicko in charge wanted them to have to kill somebody.
But yeah,
if it was easy.
You guys killed someone you weren't supposed to. So if we're supposed to lose someone you chose for us, we're going to get that heart.
Well, I guess that falls into the category if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. Obviously, whether or not they accept it, we'll just assume that requested and denied.
So the guy that at this point is non-responsive, they give him the syringe to help him. He doesn't come out of it. And because of his state where he is breathing shallow,
he's on the brink of death.
And they say, okay, he's the one. And at this point, they are rattled, they are scared, and they're actually willing to do the thing of saying, he's the one that has to be killed, and we'll take his heart. And Carl, or actually it was Billy, the HR person, volunteers to kill him.
Oh no, she didn't volunteer. She got freaking told, you put us in this mess.
Yeah,
you freaking do this.
That is correct. And so she's about ready to kill him, and he comes to consciousness and says something, but too late, and
she slashes his throat anyway.
Yeah. And at that point, she is a mess, and Carl steps forward to slice open his chest, break his ribs, peel back the skin.
You need some major, muscles to do that. Cutting ribs out?
Well, he used the little plier things that he was supposed to use to cut out the heart. He used that to snap the ribs. You might have missed that part because I believe at that point that you had your hands over your face.
Well, no, I know. No, the snippet things were cutters, but they were, it was going to work for the heart, but it also was going to work for the ribs. Like you can't tell someone to get someone's heart and not give them a way to break the ribs. You're not going to get there.
Yeah, he used the same device. So obviously we cannot go through every freaking what would you do because this movie was a lot of them.
I condone what Billy did. It's a shitty situation
of killing him, even after he came to consciousness and said basically like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And then stab.
Sucks for him. Everyone had already decided.
This movie was a lot, and then obviously Carl having to go through the gruesome task of acquiring the heart and putting it in the jar as they were asked. And at that point, there was no sigh of relief. There was no, okay, we got through it. They immediately went to the next round, which was some messed up stuff about they had to sincerely belly laugh, like something was really funny. And if it wasn't believable, you get your head chopped off.
That's easy. If you've kept your head. Like if you've lost your head, you're probably screwed.
everyone has a head.
No,
I don't know where you're going with
I like keep your wits about you. You're not acting irrationally.
Oh, I said cut off your head, and you didn't mean the actual physical head. You're talking about the mental state.
Yes.
Okay. You
That's-
can understand how I
you
be
just-
confused.
You've just got to pick something from your past or something that was hilarious. Like for me, or maybe not from my past, or you just imagine something. I could imagine.
And also keep in mind, you are freaking terrified. You have been through so much at this point. You've seen one person kill, or two people killed. One of the people disappeared early on, and you're not aware that she's dead yet. So one person is just kind of MIA. Two people have been killed. You've seen or actually been the person who cut out a heart. You've been given botulism. You've been locked in a steam room. Your nerves are kind of frayed by the time it says, hey, give us a sincere laugh. And if it's not sincere, we're going to chop with a samurai sword, take off your head.
Yeah, so I would just picture myself and my brother at a party with lots of people around, and someone pantses him, and he's got like an 1.5-inch dick. It's like this micro dick.
Is this a real story?
No. No, that's what I'm saying. It's not. But that would be hilarious. That would be absolutely hilarious. Terrible for him, but that's okay. I just need something that's going to make me laugh right now.
Wow, okay. So one person doesn't pass the test, and off comes her head, and we're off to the races again. What would you do
Which was fun.
if you were the surviving people who now see another person dead? One person actually got shot in the leg in this process because he tried to negotiate and say he didn't want to do it and got shot. And things are just beyond getting real at this point. It is so messed up.
Yeah, there's no what would you do at this point? You have, I think at a certain point when the heart's getting cut out, you have to realize that this probably doesn't end well for most or all of you.
And you do have some sort of understanding of the path here because he's taking you through this is 1, this is 2, and that there are 7. So it's not like all of a sudden you get through one thing and it's over. You can see the writing on the wall at this point that you're going through all of these gateways.
So I get that they have guns,
The two women, Amber and Lola, yeah.
and I get that this is crazy, but I'm trying anything I can to just distract them for half a second, and then you just bomb rush them. You just try to catch them unaware, like kind of hope that these are people who maybe haven't shot these guns a lot, and maybe this is something that they're a little...
Well, they just shot and killed the attorney, so they're pretty comfortable using the guns, and I obviously had no problem shooting him in the head.
You have to distract them. If you don't distract them, you can't do it. You've got to do something that can distract them and bum rush. Listen, is everyone probably going to die at that point? Yeah, there's a good chance. Several people are going to die. But I think you just have to look at this and say, at this pace, nobody's getting out of here alive. So this at least is a chance.
And Ginger, who is the non-employee, is a college student, and she actually is a psychology student.
Which is really good for her right now.
Yeah, and you can see her trying to play the game in a way very intentionally of sometimes complimenting him, sometimes insulting him being Arthur, the crazy founder who got ousted. And you can see that her mind is spinning. And she is the one who doesn't really even know this guy because she didn't work there. She was just the girlfriend of the guy who did. So we get to a point here where the next gateway is you have to scoop out your eye. And
Hey, no, there was one before that.
well, I was trying not to go through all of it. So the next one was eyeballs, and Ginger does a great job of luring Arthur to the retreat house because now Arthur wants to prove himself. I will do this with you. This one is about truth, and I will do this with you. And when he gets there, you realize the truth is that he needs to see through his third eye, and you do that by scooping out your left eye with a spoon.
Listen, if you want to transcend, I'm looking at this as him.
Arthur?
Yeah, Arthur. You want to transcend? I'll do it in my own time. I'm not getting goaded out because the last thing I want to do is start to physically compromise myself in a room with people that 1,000,000% want to kill me.
Yeah, if you are Arthur and you're crazy, you should at least protect your own interests. But I guess he must have gotten caught up in whatever it was, and he shows up and he's in the room with them. And you know that this thing is coming, but then I heard you mouth something like, you should go first. But then he says, I'll go first. And he proceeds to scoop out his own eye in front of everybody. And as it's dangling from there with whatever that cordy thing is that keeps your eye in your head, he plucks it out. And he also tells Amber and Lola, if I don't scoop out the entire thing,
Kill me.
Kill me. So obviously this man is even more nutso than we realize, because at this point, he's even putting himself out there for being marked man.
If you want to do that later, when you don't have 4 other people that are in there that want to kill you, great. Actually, I love that for him.
So what would you do? You would scoop out your eye later? Well, not go in the first place. And if you did go scoop out your eye later.
If that's what I really thought was the next step, I'm just not doing it with those guys in front of those guys. Now, that said, I think the fact that he did it first made everyone else over there go, well, this is going to suck. But this lunatic did it first. Like, it doesn't make it okay, but at least he's subjecting himself to the same thing.
Well, it made it... Okay, so on one hand, it was terrifying to see, and that in itself would just cripple you with fright. But at the same time, you see that he survived and he's still talking. So you think, okay, if I do this, I'm not going to keel over and die. So what would you do if you were one of these people? And then he said, well, here's a spoon. And number one, unsanitary. The same bloody spoon gets passed from person to person.
I thought that as well. I'm like, can we at least get a new spoon for everyone?
Yeah, so that we're not infection and transferring germs. Like,
I don't think they really cared much about it at that point.
And then the second part of that is not only would you... Oh, wait, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Okay, so you see that it's possible that you're not gonna die, but also too, where does this end?
So let me tell you, if this were me, I never got this far. Because
let me guess, you tried to escape and got shot.
Well, no, I tried the bum rush situation because I saw where it was going. So yeah, I'm either out of there or dead. But I guess we will still assume that I'm in this position. I could not do that. I have a thing with my eyes. I once tried to get contacts, and over a 90-minute period, I was able to get one contact in one time. And I was able to get one contact out one time.
Well, you're not putting anything in. You're taking something out.
Well, you got to put something in to take something out. It's one of the reasons why I haven't had LASIK done yet. Because even though I know a lot of people do it, the idea of it is still terrifying to me. And also, I don't think LASIK fixes the stigmatism, which I still have. So, if I haven't bum rushed already, I'm figuring out something there because I just know I couldn't do it.
And we have 4 people left at this time.
I could not force myself to do it.
We have the CEO, who basically ousted Arthur, who has been shot in the leg. We have Carl, who is traumatized from, he's the one that cut out his coworker's heart. We have the gal who created the antidote for the botulism. And then we have Ginger, who is our almost stowaway, who is not really, really supposed to be there. So the numbers have dwindled.
Could you scoop your eye?
Here's the thing. If you don't scoop your eye, number one, he shoots you and kills you. And number two, for each person, your time gets shorter.
That was ridiculous.
And yeah, we went from like a minute to 30 seconds to like
20 to 10.
Yeah. And can think about how much it would take you to psych yourself up to do that. And then even depriving you of like that by the time you start, it's like 10 seconds. And oh my gosh, would I do that?
I'd like to think that I could, but I still.
I don't know.
And I'm not going to figure it out.
If my hand, because you can't just attempt it. You have to get the full eyeball out, and it can't even be hanging by any sort of flesh or whatever all of those spongy things are behind your eye. It cannot be hanging. It's you have to extract it fully and completely from your head within this time period. Honestly, what would I do? I think I would probably do it because it's that or death. But I don't know if I could, because I'm sure my hand would be shaking so much. Because I think about any time where you've been afraid, even sometimes, and I'm sure some of you ladies can relate to it, where something's happened and you're trying to just get a key in a hole, whether that was a car key or a house key, where something happened and your hands are shaking because you are rattled, you are scared, whatever has happened. I can't imagine being able to keep my hand steady enough to fully and completely scoop out my own eye.
Yeah, if I have to, I'm bum rushing them solo. I'll make you shoot me. Because I know I can't get it out. So I could either spend the last seconds I have alive torturing myself to get shot, or I could just get shot.
And Aubrey, who is our third person there to try, she basically says, I can't do it. And then it's like, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. And then she was like, my hands, I can't get my hands unshaky enough to do it. And then, too bad, so sad, Audrey gets shot and killed.
And listen, I'm the big proponent of keeping your head. This is not we are beyond being able to keep your head at this point. I do not fault her for not being able to be shaky enough. That would be beyond terrifying.
And it was probably the first, maybe the second person who had to scoop at their eye, that the first two people left the theater. And then the next three people to leave the theater were still within this eye scene, because this eye scene went on for quite a while. And the sound effects and the crunching and the squishing, along with what we were seeing of dangling eyes and bloody faces and everything like that, it was a lot. People left behind popcorn and drinks and just exited the theater.
Yeah, so I happened onto the Reddit for this movie, and let me tell you, they were not the only people who walked out of it. There were quite a few people who were like, yeah, no, got halfway out. Halfway in, and we're like, nope, gotta go.
It was a lot. I would not recommend that anyone see this film.
I mean, everyone's like, this is bad. I did not think it was, listen, I didn't love the movie by any stretch. I do think it was less than average, but I didn't hate it. It was like a 4 for me.
It was the definition of just gratuitous violence.
No, that is in a violent nature. And
that's another terrible film that I don't think anyone should see. Society is worse for anyone who had a hand in making that horrible film. But this isn't much better.
But for me, it actually became my measuring stick of like, it's not realistically going to get any worse than what we saw here. So,
and for folks who don't know, we saw that in Violent Nature, and
we did not do an episode on it.
The first time that we ever said, what should we do with this? And we decided not to do an episode on it because we didn't want to promote it in any way, because it was so insanely violent, and we just didn't want anyone to see that. It spreads nothing but evil and hate and violence.
Listen, there's plenty of slashers. There's plenty of things like this.
Yeah, we see lots of horror films. I have nothing issue about horror.
But yeah, there was just something especially gruesome about it. It was, again, please don't take any of this as, ooh, was it that bad? I have to go see it. Don't go see it. Just don't.
Yeah. You'll be worse for it. And society is worse for things like that existing.
Anyway, number 7, he's going to make them recreate a voodoo doll that they found of him. And
while he was still working there, he found out that they passed around a voodoo doll. And by coincidence, Ginger had actually given that voodoo doll to her boyfriend, Cliff, who died early on. And he took it to work, and it got passed around. And the current CEO is just saying, it was a joke. We didn't mean anything by it. And Arthur wants them, he has these rebar size needles that are, I don't know, how long were those things? Maybe like 1.5 feet or something long. And he wants them to put them in their bodies. There's 7 of them. And he has part of it painted white, and you can't just put it in. It has to be far enough in so you can't see the white.
Yeah, 2 in the thigh, 1 in the gut, 2 in the shoulders, 2 in the ears.
And once you hear the ear thing, you don't survive 2 in the ears if it has to go in to where you don't see the white. You are literally making them go through the other side of your head. You don't survive that.
So I actually think there is a way to survive it. Well, so first of all, what would you do? Hey, listen, we want to transcend, but we really don't understand. Like, we want to make sure that we don't screw this up. You were so brave in going first in the last one. Could you please demonstrate for us how this works so we can join you?
That's a lovely thought, but I'm sure if I were Arthur, I'd be like, but I already went down this route with the voodoo doll. So yeah, no, I'm gonna hard pass there.
Well, 100%, or the answer for 100% of the questions you don't ask is no. So I'm at least asking.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So which guy is it? I cannot.
Devin, the CEO.
No, the other guy.
Carl goes first. Carl is the guy who cut out the heart. So Carl has been through a lot.
Okay. 2 in the legs. Okay, whatever. 1 in the gut.
Why did he go in order? That was my first thought is he said you had to put him in there, but I didn't hear he said you had to go in that order. I would not have put the one in my gut third. I would have done that one last because I would think that could cause the most damage besides the one in your ears.
Well, here's the thing too. You can put it in your gut. You don't have to put it straight in. I would put this thing in on the side at an angle.
The side?
Yeah,
I don't know if that counts as your gut.
You can't show. I can't really show, but like here.
Can you describe that? We have people who
Can
are
you describe
listening.
it? Like,
who are listening?
I know, but I'm not going to be good at
To the left of your belly button?
Yeah, like left or right.
So you're trying to sidestep the organs?
Yeah, and just you want to try to make it run the skin down this line. And so it can fill in just that skin.
That's good thinking. Try to be compliant, but also responsible with not directly impaling your important organs.
Yeah. The shoulder, there's no real getting around that. That's just all muscle. That's going to hurt like hell, but it's not going to kill you.
I don't even know how you do that and get past the bone up there. Like, are you just kind of going to the front of it and getting the front part of your chest? Like the upper part of your chest?
Now you're going in right where the bone is, and you're going down.
You're going in where the bone is?
Yeah, this is the one. This is the one you actually kind of do need to go straight in, because
I don't know
if
enough
you go
about
too high,
anatomy.
you're hitting the bone. If you go too low, you're hitting organs. So now I don't know how the hell he was able to get the ones even up to his ear after having 2 in his shoulder.
That's a good point.
But
It seems like that would be very difficult.
the ears, obviously, if you put them straight in, you are literally killing yourself. I'm going to try to game the system.
Yeah, no, that's smart. I don't think I would have thought about that, but yeah, if you can try and do them at angles.
Oh no, even more so than that. You said you wanted to go in my ear? Fine. It's going in my ear. And I'm going to pierce cartilage. And I'm going to put it basically where you would be pierced. Like an ear piercing.
Oh, you're going to try. Your earlobe is not in your ear. That's outside your ear. That doesn't count. I wouldn't count
But this is your ear.
He said in your ear.
Yeah.
Your
but this
lobe
is my ear.
not,
I put it in my ear. And I'll put it all the way to the white.
Your lobe isn't your ear. If I were, I would call BS on
okay.
that.
But I'm going to make you call BS. Maybe he's someone who would appreciate the gaming of the system. I don't know. I mean, given who he was, I think he actually could appreciate that. And besides, again, even going at an angle, you would have to basically try to run, like I did with the gut, you'd have to try to run your jawline. And that's going to be really difficult because there is bone and stuff. But if you go straight in, you're going to hit your brain and you're dead. And if you're not dead, you are a complete and total vegetable. So you'll wish you were dead. So you can't do that one straight in. You will die.
Well, and Carl does die. And the next person on the list to endure this final phase of transcendence in all the gateways is Devin. And he basically says, yeah, you can shoot me. I'm not going to torture myself. You can just shoot me. And then he says, but I want to say something first. And then they shoot him because why would you let him say something first? It kind of made sense. I wouldn't announce I was going to wanted to say something first.
I'm going up. If I'm him, I'm getting the spikes.
Oh, and yeah, I was surprised no one grabbed the spikes and then tried to stab Arthur with them. Is that where you're going? Like agree and compliant and then realize they have weapons in their hands and try and do something with it?
You basically want to throw them. Multiple at once.
They were pretty close. I mean, I don't know if that would do anything other than just bounce off of them.
Oh, no, it's probably not. But this kind of goes back to my bum rush from earlier. You're hoping that everyone instinctively tries to dodge or is so caught off guard by it that you then, once again, can bum rush or get shot. Either way.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Like,
see, you.
I'm big on giving yourself a chance.
You either would have a clear head through this or you think you would have a clear head through this because these are all great ideas. I don't know if that would actually happen in this real life situation, if it was a real life situation, but they're all really good ideas.
You get shit done, Scott?
I do.
Yeah, he would be there. And when he's out, it's basically like a cold mechanical machine because I know it's a survival situation and I just completely cue it. I would have been like Ginger.
Well, and Ginger is our final one, and she manages to compliment Arthur and apologize to Arthur, admitting that she's the one who actually made the voodoo doll, even though she never worked at the company, and manages to get him to agree that she wants to transcend up on the roof. And the roof is where that gun that we referred to that was brought by Cliff is underneath a cushion on the couch.
Thank God for that.
At the roof. And at that point, there's some shooting, there's some pushing off the roof, and eventually...
Yeah, she puts a hole in Arthur's head.
Yeah, and Arthur drowns, and she manages...
Oh, no, he was dead before he even got down there.
And she manages to take out the other two, and she is free. The end. This movie was a lot. Again, I recommend you do not see this film.
I think it's fine. You just need to know what you're getting into before you get into it.
I mean, but it wasn't entertaining. There was no part of this that was entertaining.
See, here's the problem for me. I often go to these movies literally having no idea anything about the movie. For me, this could have been a comedy. It could have been a drama. It could have been anything, but it turned out to be what it is. That was a little jarring, but it's still fine. I think if you know what you're going into, and that yes, there's going to be a lot of gore. You got to be okay with that.
I disagree. I did watch the trailer. I definitely thought it was some sort of quirky thriller, but I didn't know we had these prolonged scenes of torture. And again, the eyeball scene is what drove 5 people out of the theater. It was too much. So what would I do? I definitely... When I could see the writing on the wall, I guess I would try and get as far as I could. But once we got to the 7th gateway and really realizing that there is no way to survive this, because I don't think I would have the clarity or awareness to be thinking about the angles of how these huge pieces of rebar go through my body.
That's also why, if we were both there, I would go first. And I would want you to watch what I did. And then hopefully realize there's reasons why I did what I did. If I'm not there, probably did.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.